After 49 points last week, which was below the average, and a very good first week, I'm now back, hopefully, with a bang. So let's get straight into my team and the defense and goalkeeper. So yes, people, let's look at my team for game week 3, starting with the goalkeeper and defense. So as you can see, I've got Robert Sanchez in goal. And for me, this was actually a no-brainer. You've got Dubravka playing away at Manchester United. Manchester United are desperate for their first win of the season. I think Burnley do concede. However, Sanchez, they've had a tight defense at Chelsea. They was unlucky to concede against West Ham. Other than that, I think they would have got a clean sheet. And now you look at Fulham. Fulham are a type of team that are going to come there, West London derby, and they are going to get opportunities with Muniz, Sessegnon back, Harry Wilson, Raul Jimenez even, Traore. They've actually got a bit of attacking depth when you look at Fulham, but they just don't seem to score as many goals as what you think their team would do. But as you saw, Smith Rowe come off the bench last week and scored against United. So I'm going to go with Sanchez, hoping that it's a low-scoring game and Chelsea can maybe get a 1 or 2-0 win. Now, Ezri Konsa, he is back in the side for Aston Villa, and I'm expecting them to win. One big reason is that Crystal Palace are playing in Europe on Thursday. So with Palace playing in Europe on Thursday and trying to focus on progressing, having only a 1-0 lead on aggregate, I'm going to be starting Ezri Konsa. It's a Sunday night game. Villa need to get their season kick-started, and I believe having him back is going to be massive. So that's a solid start for me. And then I'll go on to Murillo. Now, he's been the most disappointing one for me, people. And you guys that own Nottingham Forest assets, you're probably feeling the same. But with Murillo, he's a Nottingham Forest defender up against a West Ham team that are so low on confidence. It's probably the perfect time to have a Nottingham Forest asset playing against West Ham. West Ham are struggling with obviously Jared Bowen having to apologise to fans. Paqueta, his future's up in the air. Fulkrug, not really settled. And yes, they've signed Matthias Fernandes, West Ham are going into this weekend. But whether he's going to play or not, I don't know. But I still don't think it'll be enough to beat Nottingham Forest. Can they get a consolation off the back of a defeat? I'm hoping not. We saw Brentford get a late goal against Nottingham Forest when they were set for a clean sheet. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. But Murillo, he is going to start, and we'll get to Nico Williams down below on my bench. Van der Ven, he's going to be in that starting 11. I'm actually going to the Spurs game, so I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Out of all the 4 that I'm starting, if you wanted me to be honest about my team, I think Van der Ven has the highest probability of conceding. We know with Evan Nilsson, we know with Semenyo, we know with this game that is going to be set up at the Spurs Gate Stadium, it's going to be attacking. We're going to see both teams have moments in transition, and it will be who can take their chances. But I'm just going to hope that with Spurs not conceding against Man City, not conceding against Burnley, that they've got a level of confidence right now that they might be able to, again, shock people and keep another clean sheet. So I'm going with Sanchez, Konsa, Murillo, and Van der Ven. And my dilemma, which I'll get to shortly, is Nico Williams. So that is my defense for game week 3. So yes, people, now we go into the midfield where I'm going to take you from left to right. And as you can see, I've got Liverpool 7.5 million midfielder, Cody Gakpo. Now, I told you at the start of the season, if you were doing your team selection and watching my video and subscribe to FPL HIVE, you would have been knowing to get Cody Gakpo. But if you didn't, you can still get on it because Cody Gakpo has been returning. We know at the moment he is a lock-in on that left-hand side. They've lost Luis Diaz. Obviously, sadly, they've lost Diogo Jota as well, and Darwin Núñez has left the club. So it's only Rio that is competing with him at the moment, and he's only going to get minuscule minutes because he's still 17 years of age when Liverpool are trying to defend the title. So Cody Gakpo got me 2 returns on Monday, the assist for Gravenberch, the assist for Ekitike. And yes, people might say it's fortunate. It's a 5-yard pass. I'm telling you, when it comes to FPL, I am taking it. And he is going to play now against Arsenal. And at the moment, he's in a rich vein of form. He seems to be getting involved quite a lot as well because I think Liverpool have a bit of a left-hand side bias. Obviously, with Kerkez, Ekitike liking to drift out. Florian Wirtz coming over to the left a bit more as well. So it seems like Salah actually has been the one that's been very quiet, despite annoyingly getting FPL points in the first 2 game weeks of the season. So Gakpo, he's a lock-in and he's not going anywhere with Liverpool's fixtures changing in game week 4 onwards. Elliot Anderson, now, he's probably the most frustrating one, but I'm going to keep him in. Same reason I said about Murillo, it's West Ham at home. Now, I don't expect West Ham to do too much going forward, so I don't think DEFCON points are going to be a thing for Anderson. I'm just hoping that he can maybe get a goal or an assist and just do something to make that shrewd pick of 5.5 million worth it. If not, I'm starting to question whether Anderson is someone I want to keep in longer term because otherwise I'm just getting a 2-pointer every week. And it probably feels like a little bit of a waste. So Anderson is going to stay in, but I'm hoping for an attacking return. And then this is where the dilemma begins because I did mention Nico Williams. As you can see, people, he is on my bench. But how long will he be on my bench for? This is down to Cole Palmer and his injury. If Cole Palmer does have an injury and he misses the game against Fulham, for the price and potentially heading into international break, I need points. I had a bit of a poor game week last week. I had a good game week 1. I feel like Nico Williams could come in and start because I could go to a double Nottingham Forest defence, and that would enable me to go 4-3-3. And what does that do? That banks one of my transfers. I did make a game week transfer too, so I have 2 for this week now. And as you can see, I've got Cunha, which I'll get to. So at the moment, Palmer is starting, hoping that he remains in the team. If he doesn't, one of my options is to go to a back 4 and start Nico Williams, just due to the fact it is West Ham at home. And I have made my transfer. As you can see, Matheus Cunha has come into the team. And I'm going to discuss later in the video why I made that move and who has come out. And now let's go into my front 3. And the most frustrating person is Ollie Watkins right now. 4 attempts on goal last week, still no returns. And I'm just scratching my head thinking, is the Ollie Watkins curse going to happen again? And if you don't know what the Ollie Watkins curse is, let me tell you, every time I take him out, he starts scoring. Every time I take him out, he starts scoring. So I am going to roll the dice and I'm keeping Ollie Watkins in again. Ollie, if you're watching FPL Hive, up the Hive and do something. I'm begging you. I'm screaming. Even an assist. Just something that can justify 9 million, because your fixtures have been brilliant, yet no returns. And it's Unai Emery's fault. Because why is he playing 6 defensive midfielders? If you guys know in the chat, then let me know in the comments. Because he needs to change it up now. You've got Evan Goswan, you've got Daniel Mallon, you've got Morgan Rogers, you've got people that can support Ollie Watkins and get him in further forward positions, get him running in behind and stretch the pitch. Now, I'm hoping that Unai Emery, after the poor start to the season, will make changes for the Crystal Palace game on Sunday, on top of Palace having a European game on Thursday night. So I am hoping that Watkins can get up and running and get some form of returns. You can't take him out. You have to take the risk and you have to start him. So Ollie Watkins stays in. Now, to my captain pick and Mr. Erling Haaland. Now, I captained him last week and I went against what I would usually do, and that is captaining an early kickoff. But I kind of thought Chelsea are playing on Friday night. That's the early game. Well, it didn't work that way. Erling Haaland blanked, and I'm going to go with him again as my captain this week. Brighton, we all know about Brighton. They play some fantastic football at times, but they are also open at times. And I always feel like Brighton and Man City always has goals in that game, and if not, the potential to have a high volume of goals. It's a Sunday 2:00 game, which works perfect for me. I can assess the whole weekend and hope that Haaland gets some points. And it's Brighton away. Man City are coming off the back of a defeat to Spurs at home. They need to get back to winning ways, because if they lose that and Liverpool or Arsenal win on Sunday, they are already 6 points behind the leaders, which would not be acceptable for Pep. So I am going with Haaland, captain. And then I am sticking with João Pedro. He's given me some nice returns last week. I was a bit gutted that I didn't captain him, but of course, who would have? Because no one expected Palmer's injury to take shape in the warm-up. But João Pedro, the big thing for me is if Palmer is out, he will be on penalties. And I don't know if anyone knew that really when they think about it, but if Palmer is out and João Pedro gets a chance on a penalty spot, he is usually pretty clinical. So that could be an easy way to points potentially at Saturday lunchtime. But other than that, Palmer will obviously play if he's fit, but if not, Pedro will start in the 10 role. And I'll be honest with you, where the lap started last week, he didn't get returns, but he allowed Pedro to play what he wants to do in the 10 role, float around, get involved in build up, get on the end of things and create. And I actually prefer Pedro in that second striker / 10 role. So for people that maybe have a plan for Cole Palmer, if you want to take him out or you're hoping to take him out if he's injured, it could really suit João Pedro owners. So I'm going to stick with João Pedro. I hope that he can get a return again and follow one from last week. But that is the team you're looking at for me at the moment. Haaland captain with Cunha vice captain. Now, let me tell you why I made the transfer. So my transfer this week, like I said, is Matheus Cunha in for Manchester United. Now, let me get one thing clear with you guys. I made the transfer before the Grimsby game. He played 90 minutes. I'm fuming. Ruben Amorim, what are you doing? But hopefully he is fit and he's ready to play against Burnley, because when I've watched Matheus Cunha and I've watched Manchester United, I feel like Matheus Cunha has actually been the driving force in that team. Anything that's been good for Manchester United has come through Matheus Cunha. He's in the central roles. He's ball carrying. He's getting shots off. He could have scored in both the Arsenal game and the Fulham game with 2 great chances. So I'm hoping that this weekend it can click. It's a must win for Man United. Cunha is going to play, and we've got an international break after. Now, the person he replaced was Mr. Florian Wirtz. Now, Florian Wirtz was bought in at 8.5 million, and I kind of am disappointed with myself and my FPL great record in the history books that I got in Florian Wirtz, because he was unproven in the Premier League, but I just thought Liverpool, Mohamed Salah, Ekitike, he might just come in and click. It hasn't happened yet. He's getting bullied physically. He's getting withdrawn in the 70th minute, 75th minute, and I just can't afford to keep him in against a resolute defence like Arsenal. So I've chosen to take Florian Wirtz out. I did miss the boat. His price did drop to 8.4. But what I did gain is that Cunha has now gone up to 8.1, and I've got him at 8 million. So in spite of losing something in Florian Wirtz, I'm hopefully gaining in Matheus Cunha. Matheus Cunha will also be my vice captain this week, hoping that obviously Haaland does play, Haaland does return, but if not, Matheus Cunha does as well. And I think the big thing as well when I look moving forward is that he's got Burnley at home, then at the international break he returns playing Man City away. But when he's got Man City away, I am considering a free hit, which would then mean having my normal team back in game week 5, 6, and 7, where Cunha plays Chelsea at home, where I do fancy my chances, Brentford away, and Sunderland at home. So I do think the future long-term push for Cunha will rise, and I'm hoping to get on him early. So Florian Wirtz is out, Cunha is in. Now all you've got to do is pray for me. And that is my transfer for game week 3. And that is the full team selection. So guys, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with my plans, or do you think I should do something different? And I'll catch you on the next FPL Hive.